The secret tomb, curse or coincidence? Nestled deep in the shadows of an undisclosed desert, buried beneath centuries of wind-blown sands, a secret tomb has been unearthed. For centuries it lay untouched, hidden from the prying eyes of the outside world, guarding its secrets with an uncanny determination. But now, it has been breached. Archaeologists, fueled by ambition and curiosity, have entered its confines. What they found is more than ancient artifacts. It's a mystery that seems to transcend time itself. Every individual who has stepped foot into this tomb has suffered tragic and inexplicable fates. Is this merely coincidence, or is there something far more sinister at play? In this story, we uncover the chilling secrets of the ancient past, explore the origins of the curse, and confront deep questions about forces we may not yet understand. Be warned, some secrets were meant to stay buried. The story begins with a small team of archaeologists venturing into an expansive desert, chasing whispers of an undiscovered tomb. Their excitement was palpable as they unearthed what appeared to be an entrance carved into a cliffside and sealed by massive stone slabs. The area was remote, isolated from any traces of nearby settlements, and the tomb itself seemed deliberately hidden, as though its builders wanted it forgotten. In the very first moments of discovery, something curious happened. Odd malfunctions plagued their equipment, cameras faltering, lights flickering in the arid stillness. Dismissing it as a quirk of the harsh environment, the team pressed on and broke the entrance seal. What greeted them inside was astonishing. Ornate carvings lining the walls, symbols that seemed to whisper stories of the past, and chambers filled with relics that sparkled under the dim glow of their flashlights. But almost immediately, the shadows began to gather. In the days following their brave descent, members of the original team began to suffer tragic fates. The lead archaeologist, a diligent man with years of fieldwork behind him, fell gravely ill. Medical examinations returned inconclusive results, leaving him bedridden and delirious. Another team member, a promising historian, disappeared en route to the nearest city, leaving their vehicle mysteriously abandoned in the desert sands. Soon, whispers of the curse began to spread. The locals shunned the site, warning the outsiders of dangers unseen. They spoke of the legends surrounding sites like this, tales of spirits, of vengeful guardians, and of ancient curses placed to protect what must never be disturbed. But was this curse real, or were these tragic events a series of coincidences spun into legend? Throughout history, tomb curses have been a hallmark of many ancient civilizations. The most famous example is, of course, the tomb of King Tutankhamun. Stories of deaths and misfortunes surrounding its discovery in 1922 captured the world's imagination and cemented the idea of cursed tombs in popular culture. But the idea of curses is older than any single tomb. For ancient cultures, burial sites were sacred ground, spaces where the line between the living and the spiritual worlds was paper-thin. To disturb the dead was to invite chaos, retribution, or worse. Elaborate rituals often accompanied burials, with inscriptions warning would-be intruders of dire consequences. Was this simply a scare tactic, or did these rituals tap into something beyond human comprehension? Experts often argue that these curses were meant to deter grave robbers. But in the case of this tomb, the inscriptions seem different. Not just warnings, but descriptions of elaborate rites designed to invoke protection from forces that even the tomb's builders feared. The carvings inside the tomb painted a haunting picture. They told the story of a long-lost civilization, a people whose names are unknown, but whose practices were chillingly specific. Through their art, they spoke of rituals performed under the light of the stars, offerings to appease forces of nature, and sacrifices meant to guard their most sacred secrets. One particular wall had a striking image, a figure standing before a towering portal, arms outstretched, with shapes reminiscent of fire and wind swirling around them. Scholars suggested that this could represent the symbolic act of safeguarding their tombs, but others wondered, could it point to something far more literal? What were they protecting? And were these ancient guardians still in effect even now? Despite the ominous warnings, the artifacts inside the tomb were extraordinary. Tools adorned with intricate patterns, gold plates inscribed with symbols, and vases that seemed to hum faintly in the still air. It was the writings found on the golden plates, however, that riveted researchers. The first inscription loosely translated to, "The world of the living must not gaze upon what rests here." A second one described rituals of purification required to approach what they referred to as the unseen truth. Many theorized that the tomb could have been intended for a high priest or an influential ruler whose burial carried significant spiritual weight, but the message was clear: the tomb was never meant to be disturbed. As word of the tomb's supposed curse spread, reports from those who entered became even more bizarre. Certain team members described falling into vivid, unshakable nightmares while on site. Others claimed to hear whispers or strange noises emanating from within the walls. Equipment, especially cameras, would turn faulty overnight without explanation, and even photographs taken within the tomb appeared distorted. But skeptics argue that everything might have a rational explanation. Scientists pointed out factors like poisonous molds, toxic gases released by decaying materials, and psychological effects amplified by the spooky surroundings. Fear, after all, is a potent force. It can transform coincidences into curses and amplify even the smallest of mysteries into awakened terror. Still, not everything can be scientifically explained away. To protect their tombs, ancient civilizations often made use of tangible safeguards beyond curses. Deadly traps like collapsing tunnels or chambers laced with poisonous substances were sometimes incorporated into burial sites. Could this tomb's curse simply be a result of such ingenious but deadly engineering? One particularly unsettling moment came when a section of the tomb spontaneously collapsed without warning, nearly burying 2 researchers alive. Investigations revealed no environmental triggers, no earthquakes, no instability in the surrounding ground. Many began to wonder if the tomb itself, built to withstand millennia, was actively resisting intrusion. What if the curse isn't merely about toxins or psychological fear? Could the ancient rituals themselves hold some unexplainable power? Modern science has yet to fully comprehend how ancient cultures viewed energy, spirituality, and the natural world. Some believe that these civilizations might have channeled forces we'd classify as paranormal today, but were, to them, part of reality. Theories range from spiritual to supernatural. Was this a form of energy manipulation, a manifestation of belief, or something far more dangerous? Ultimately, the tomb leaves us with more questions than answers. Why was it sealed so thoroughly? What compelled its creators to craft such elaborate precautions? And why did those who opened it meet such tragic ends? This discovery reminds us not just of the mysteries of the past, but also of humanity's unrelenting desire to uncover the unknown. But in our quest for answers, we must ask ourselves, should all secrets of the past be unearthed? As the sun sets over the desert sands, casting an orange haze on the windswept ruins, the tomb remains as enigmatic as ever. Was it truly cursed, or are humans simply masters of their own paranoia? The artifacts inside baffle scientists, the tragedies that followed haunt historians, and the whispers of the ancients continue to echo through the chambers of time. One thing is certain, some mysteries are meant to linger, unsolved. So, which side do you believe? Are curses real, or is the tomb merely a tragic intersection of history and chance? One question remains: if you had the chance, would you dare to step inside?